Now we're bringing up Danny Panzella and then Payday Monsanto in the house.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Let's hear it. Great job.
Sweetheart, that was the greatest song in the world. Thank you. Thank you for singing for us. Danny doesn't need a whole lot of introduction. We're just going to say truthsquad.tv. Danny Panzella.
Woo.
All right, let's have another round of applause for that last performer. That was awesome. Having the bravery to get up here like that is pretty amazing. All right, so I'm probably going to offend some people today, so I hope you're ready. So recently, Rand Paul endorsed the crony corporate fascist Mitt Romney. And this act has created a schism in the liberty movement. So I'm sure, is there anybody here that approves of the Ron Paul campaign, or rather Rand Paul endorsing Mitt Romney?
Yeah. No.
Come on, there's got to be somebody here, don't be shy, that thinks it's okay for the sake of tactics.
No.
No, nobody? No. All right, we have a pretty good crowd. Maybe I won't offend many people then. So, there's the two sides of this debate, right? The people that approve of compromising the principles of liberty for the sake of political gain, and then there's the purists who disapprove. We don't have apparently anybody that approves here today. So, but I know there's people on the internet watching this that definitely approve. And as a matter of fact, I want to dedicate this talk to Austin Peterson and Jack Hunter. This is for you guys. This is my message for you. So those that approve of Rand Paul's endorsement argue that to advance the cause of liberty, we must play the game, the political game. And that in exchange for Rand's endorsement, he will get preference on bills that he wants to push, like the anti-drone legislation, or maybe end the Fed, or some of these other things. And I guess that's reasonable, right? I mean, after all the years that the GOP establishment has mocked Ron Paul and ostracized him and done everything in its power to make sure he can get nothing done, I think it's reasonable to assume that if they make a deal with him now, they'll honor that, right? They'll keep their word. I think that's pretty reasonable. End sarcasm. So I also want to note that if you believe that Rand Paul endorsed Romney without Ron Paul's blessing, or at least saying, it's okay, son, I know you got to do it for political reasons, I think you're naive. There's no way that Ron Paul did not approve of that decision. Because if you really look at it, the Ron Paul campaign has never really been that principled. They're absolutely head and shoulders above the rest of them. You know, they are definitely the lesser of three evils, no doubt. But in the end, Ron Paul 2012 has compromised libertarian principles many times. For instance, they've endorsed neoconservative candidates like Lamar Smith against liberty candidates. Ron Paul's a politician, and his campaign has made statist decisions, and many in the Love Revolution have chosen to blame Jesse Benton, his campaign chair. Well, that's like a scapegoat because Ron Paul approves all of Jesse Benton's decisions. So Jesse Benton isn't going to do something against Ron Paul's wishes, right? So Ron Paul has to take responsibility for everything his campaign has done. And he gets full credit for that fact. And the Ron Paul campaign has consistently, at least in the 2012 campaign, if not 2008, has been rejecting the grassroots movement in favor of retail establishment politics. And I think that's a huge mistake. The official campaign even refers to the grassroots, there are those in the campaign, I should say, as ragamuffins. So this is the way some of the people in the official campaign refer to the grassroots movement, as ragamuffins. And recently the ragamuffins have come under attack by the campaign and their operatives, who have chosen to collectivize and ostracize people in the liberty movement for their beliefs. And with that, I have to do a little wardrobe change.
Woo!
have to reveal now that I'm a truther. I do believe there are elements within the U.S. government that aided in the September 11th attacks. So truthers and conspiracy theorists have been criticized and accused of hurting the liberty movement. We've been collectivized, called paranoid delusionals, conspiratards, and other names by these alleged guardians of liberty. And they've decided that we can no longer be allowed to represent Ron Paul's message. They've tried to block us from becoming delegates. The campaign has refused to attend our events and has even gone so far as to smear events and event organizers. In August, grassroots organizers are planning a big rally down at the GOP convention in Tampa, and the Ron Paul campaign has now decided that they're going to have their own rally. So screw the grassroots, we'll have an official campaign rally. That way we can control the speaker lists, and those ragamuffins won't be allowed to spread their message. So, and I think we all know who the speakers that they don't like are. Adam Kokesh. So what have we become in the liberty movement that those who were once our leaders that we looked up to have now become part of the establishment, or at least pandering to the establishment, rejecting grassroots, and deciding that if you don't wear khakis and blue blazers, or if you dare to question the official 9/11 story, that somehow you are a danger to liberty. Well, I have news for anyone, Jack Hunter, Austin Peterson, that believes that truthers are a danger to the advancement of liberty. Abandoning individualism and the principles of liberty and engaging in collectivism will cause the destruction of liberty. Rand's endorsement and the war on conspiracy theories has already damaged the momentum of the love revolution. The grassroots taking action and living according to the principles of liberty is what advances liberty. You people every day being individualists and respecting the non-aggression principle and all of those things that make liberty what it is, the truths that have been a fire in men's hearts since the dawn of time that have made them fight for their freedom, that's what advances liberty. It's not about donating to Ron Paul 2012 or casting votes or silencing certain opinions or marketing liberty in a certain way. It's about each individual living their lives according to the non-aggression principle, as I said, and respecting the natural rights of all people, not just the people in the khakis and the blue blazers. So to paraphrase Martin Luther King, it's about treating each person not by the color of their skin or if they think 9/11 was an inside job, but by their character. We must reject collectivism in all its flavors of prejudice. And the liberty movement will advance when people choose to start living by those principles. We don't need Rand or Ron Paul or anyone else who compromises its message to advance. It will continue to advance because it is truth. And that can withstand any of the machinations of political parties. When you compromise the principles of liberty to achieve a political goal, you are saying you don't trust the philosophical truths. You falsely believe that you can manipulate, cajole, and exploit a corrupt system to achieve freedom. And does everybody here know that? That the political system, the U.S. government does not give us freedom? Yes. Right? One person knows that.
We all know that.
God, nature, whatever you want to say, our humanity, the virtue of us being human is what gives us the right to be free. So I submit to you that there is a karmic price to pay. Whether you believe in God and it's you reap what you sow, or the universe and karma, there is a price that will be paid every time we compromise the principles of liberty. And there is a spiritual benefit to when we do honor those principles, and it will come back and reward us as well. So just imagine what this world would be like if we all obeyed those principles and encouraged others to do the same. So what are the principles of liberty? In my opinion, it boils down to one thing. And Ron Paul's campaign started out believing this. It's love. It's the love revolution, right? Philosophers have said it in different ways. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. In libertarianism, we call it the non-aggression principle. Does that mean you have to have a lovey-dovey feeling towards everyone? No. There are certainly people, even here, that I don't have a lovey-dovey feeling with. No, I'm kidding. I love everybody. But it means that you have to treat people with love and respect. And if you honor the natural rights of those people, then you won't aggress against them. And that's really for me, what it boils down to. So what's next for the Liberty Movement post Ron Paul?
Danny Panzella.
No, not Danny Panzella. It's not me. It's not any leader. We don't need any more cult of personality leaders. We all need to be our own leader in our own lives, and our own family, and our own community. Like Mike Salvi was saying. You know, that's what I love about this movement. There's so much synchronicity that Mike Salvi can get up here and say something that I was planning to say, and Tatiana can sing a song that spreads that same message, and there's just synchronicity within the movement because we all have a finger on the pulse of what's happening, right? We all know what's going on. And it's being plugged into that, into the spirit of liberty that's going to continue to advance liberty itself. And it's certainly not going to be casting votes or trading political endorsements. So if Mitt Romney, I'm being told that if Mitt Romney chokes on a grape, Ron Paul still might get the nomination. Well, I think that's naive. I don't think Ron Paul is getting the nomination. If Mitt Romney chokes on a grape, they'll probably stick Jeb Bush or someone else in there. But let's say Ron Paul becomes president tomorrow. The economic collapse is still coming. Ron Paul can't stop it. I would love to have Ron Paul in there to deal with it when it does happen. But what should we be doing as the Liberty Movement to prepare for the economic collapse? And I think that we've all heard a lot of speakers talk about this, you know, getting off the grid, growing your own food, using alternative currencies, trying not to be a part of the statist system, the political, economic system, because as more of us opt out of it and stop using the US dollar, the system will collapse. And then we have the chance at a community level to rebuild and to rebuild society the way we want it to be, a voluntary society. And that leads me to my next wardrobe change. So this shirt says, this is what a voluntarist looks like. Yeah, it was very warm. So there is no political solution. Politics is an embezzlement scam to rob we the people. They use politics to divide, conquer, and destroy communities because communities are the real answers. Real answer. Don't get me wrong, the Liberty Movement does need to be involved in politics. We need to be infiltrating the system to destroy it from the inside. And by destroy, I mean infect it with people who are on fire for liberty. And then the statism will crumble. We need organizations where the Liberty Movement can be involved, like Gigi Bowman, who's going to be speaking tomorrow. She's from libertycandidates.com, and she supports a lot. We have Liberty candidates in the audience today. She supports people that are running, who are running on the message of liberty. And we need that. We need people spreading the message. Not because the government's going to fix the problem, but because we need to be creating more libertarians and more voluntarists. So the Ron Paul campaign does deserve some credit. I don't hate Ron Paul. I love him. You know, I don't agree with all of his tactics, but he does deserve some credit for the delegate strategy, which has effectively taken control of a lot of voting precincts and even some counties, and is returning the Republican Party to its libertarian and paleo-conservative roots. They've gotten involved in the local GOP committees and have risen through the leadership ranks, and this is going to have a long-lasting effect, a positive long-lasting effect on the GOP for the next 10, 15 years. So our involvement in politics can slow down tyranny, but I don't think that it can stop it. And we can't neglect the rest of our lives as political activists. Like Mike said, actually, about our interpersonal relationships. And so I kind of call it living with one foot in the matrix and one foot out, right? We need to enter the matrix, the political system, to pull people out. And political involvement is a great way to do that, to recruit people. But we also need to be living free outside of the matrix. And, you know, that's basically what I was saying before about don't invest in Wall Street. Invest in agorist communities, you know, off the grid, black and gray markets, where you're not using the dollar. Use gold, use silver, use barter. You know, barter your skills. It's not that difficult. You know, you can walk into a local business if you design websites and say, you know, I need X, and I can build your store or website. And it's not as weird as it might sound, and people are very receptive to barter, especially in smaller communities, rural communities. But even in big cities, I live in New York City, and it's not that the agorist community is alive, even in New York City. So those are just some tips on how you can do that. And I just wanted to, my last comment is, we are changing the world, all of us, individually, what we're doing. All of our activism. Rob does the lemonade freedom, and Mike would end the Fed, and everybody here has some sort of activism that they're engaging in. We are creating like butterfly effect ripples in the world, and we are changing the world, even though maybe it doesn't seem like it because NDAA passed and Obamacare was upheld and all these tyrannical things. But we really are making a difference on the grassroots level, and we cannot stop, and we can't opt out and say, you know what, it doesn't make a difference. I know the collapse is coming, so I'm just going to store food and water, and I'm not going to worry about anybody else. Because when the shit hits the fan, if your community around you is not awake, then you may become a victim to your community. So that's why you need to be waking up the people around you, your sphere of influence, and getting them prepared as well, so that as a community, you can protect against outside threats. So enjoy the weekend. Thank you very much for listening, and live free or die.
Thank you. No more shirts.
All right, Danny Panzella. TrueSquad.tv. All right, round of applause. He said a lot of good things. We don't want, nor do we need, a violent revolution. What we want is 300 million peaceful revolutions. We don't need 300 criminals in Congress. We need 300 million politicians in America. Freedom takes effort. Nothing's easy. The solution isn't an easy button. The solution isn't waiting for some epic battle where there's going to be a clear-cut winner and a clear-cut loser, a red, blue, white, black, tall, short. That's not going to happen. The battle's on right now. It's a tiny message, but it's growing. This next, before I go any further, all right. We're going to have a bunch of vendors down along this back wall here, all the way down at the end. We got a guy that was here last year, Sticks and Stoned. He makes beautiful handmade walking sticks and canes and other beautiful things. I'd like you not only just to take a walk down there, but to check out all the vendors. A lot of us are going to be giving away free DVDs, free t-shirts, free documentaries, and lots of information. And one of the things that we want to do here is make sure everybody's safe. So if you need some water, we have water. And if we need more, we'll get it.